dude, what is going on with these two teams? They are awful, and they've been awful for a while.
They suck. That's it. They suck. No, it's two different things, two completely different things. One, it's crazy is how bad the Yankees have been, and the Mets have actually kind of been worse, which is nuts. But what it is a tale of two different teams, two different situations. The Mets are they're not pitching well and they're not hitting well. They're not playing good baseball. They're still in games, but they're not able to finish games or put teams away, and they're not able to like double up in the runs. They're just not scoring runs. They're giving up too much. Like that happens. You go in those streaks. It's been a long time in those streaks, but that's really what it is. The Yankees are a little different because they're I don't feel like they're giving up as much. I don't feel like they're scoring as little, but really what it is the mental problems, the errors, the playing really bad baseball, bad mental baseball, bad preparation, bad execution, trying to make a play and throwing the ball in the stands or coming off the bag too much and getting thrown out at first, like Jazz Chisholm did on a pop-up to second base. And why are you even off the bag? Just accept if he drops it, you're out. Just accept it. But yet, no, he tries to come off the bag. These things that are making fun. And that's the Yankees are playing such crappy, like minded baseball. That's what bothers me a lot more. The Mets are just playing. They're just not scoring. The Yankees are playing baseball that is just brutal, little league mistake baseball.
Okay. Which of the two managers is on the bigger hot seat in your opinion?
Oh, it's definitely at this point, it is without a doubt Aaron Boone. Neither one of them are going to get fired this year. It doesn't matter. Right? Neither one of them will get fired this year. We're beyond that. We're beyond a point in the season where you would ever want to fire your manager. Like you just can't. It's not. I mean, unless you have just somebody sitting there in the wings that is just the greatest manager of all time waiting. Like, but if you would have done that, we would have already seen that happen. Now you're riding it out. But I would say Aaron Boone, because this isn't the first rodeo. Like this is he's been a part of this multiple times. When you're seeing stuff like this happen, this is an Aaron Boone problem, an organizational problem, where the Mets are just in a bad streak. They still might make changes at the end of the season, but Aaron Boone, without a doubt, has to do something because it is so brutal and so bad. And it's not just not scoring runs, right? Like they're making PFP errors. They're doing the simple things bad. And the Mets aren't really doing that. The Mets are doing the simple things, still getting that done. They're just not doing like the end of the game, which is just score more runs than the other player, the other team.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the situation with Aaron Boone, and I'm wondering to myself, and you said it yourself, it's a lot of mental mistakes. At what point does the manager have to take accountability and say, you know what, it's my job to convince them not to make these mental mistakes. And if they don't know any better, I have to teach them up. But they shouldn't be taught at this point in their careers.
You don't teach at the big league level.
Yeah.
You don't teach at the big league level. You might, over the course of the year, over the course of a couple of years, you adjust, you teach a little bit. But this is all an organizational problem. This comes through the minor leagues, comes through the whole organization. I don't remember where it was, so I can't give credit for this to anybody in particular, but I watched an interview and they're talking about Didi Gregorius and his process with the Yankees and going down the minor leagues on a rehab stint and coming up to the big leagues and then telling the players, like, guys, you'll never believe what they're doing down there. You'll never believe how they're handling their business, what they're doing. It is brutal. They're not doing the little things. They're not doing the little work. They're forgetting about the little baseball things. They get them on, get them over, get them in, or pitch to contact and getting out. They change this huge focus, and it's all about launch angle. It's about this, like the big things that everybody's kind of teaching. But he was making a point of saying, all those little things that win and lose ball games, they're not working on that anymore. And now you look at years later of doing that from an organizational standpoint, all these kids that are getting drafted, coming up through A-ball, coming up through the low levels of the minor league organizations. And now they're here in the big leagues, and we're seeing the ramifications of just, like, I don't know any other way to put it, but shit coaching and shit baseball. We're seeing it, and we're seeing it at the big league level. The Dodgers made fun of it last year. The Dodgers were joking about how bad the Yankees were defensively and how they are just going to whoop their ass. And they did. And the Dodgers did that, and they were laughing about it. They're like, every team we played in the minor, every team we played in the NL in the playoffs, were better than the World Series team in the Yankees, because the Yankees couldn't do these little things that the Dodgers just, when you know you have such a huge advantage. Like, the Dodgers hitters were not a whole lot better than the Yankee hitters. The Dodgers pitching was not a whole lot better than the Yankee pitching. Dodgers bullpen wasn't a whole lot better than the Yankee bullpen. But defensively and mindset, the Dodgers were on another level and were prepped and ready on such a high level that there was such a gap that they knew they were going to take advantage of it. And I know this is going to age me, but 2006 World Series, I'll never forget. I believe it was the Cardinals versus the Detroit Tigers, and everyone was like talking about Detroit Tigers as being this great team, but defensively they're just horrible, especially on the pitching side. And they just got taken advantage of. The bunt. And the pitchers, I think, made like 4 errors in that series. And that was the difference in the series, is those little things. And we've lost that. And I'm going to say this again on top of everything I already said. When I was with the Blue Jays, the second year when I was there was a massive push to get rid of PFPs, to get rid of any sort of defensive like practice for pitchers, any sort of the prep stuff for pitchers. And there was a huge push, and it was from the outside coming in, and it was from the inside pushing up to me and the pitching coordinator of, we should not be doing any of this extra work anymore. That you don't get enough outs on it. It's like, let's focus on the things that are important, which is just the pitching and just and striking people out or creating better arsenals and all that stuff. But the PFPs and all that extra work, we don't need to do that. And we don't need to do the defensive stuff with the team. Like, let that be taken care of itself. And now you're seeing it years later in some organizations. It's like, this is just crap.
Yeah.
There was a reason we did PFPs 24/7. Yes, some of it was because of scheduling and killing time. Pitchers have to work. But it all ended up being, you didn't have problems with your defense. And now we're seeing the ramifications of not doing that work.
The commonalities that the Yankees and the Mets have are many, and one of the biggest one is the fact that there is not a regular lineup or a regular defensive alignment for either of those teams. One day at third base, it'll be Vientos. The next day, it's going to be Beatty. The next day, it's going to be Beatty at second. Then it's going to be McNeil. In center field, we don't know who we have today. Do we have Tyrone Taylor? We have Cedric Mullins. You can't have – I remember growing up, and you always saw, who's your first baseman? Don Mattingly's at first base. There's nobody else over there. Who's going to be at second base? Well, it's going to be Edgardo Alfonso is going to be my second baseman. I'm going back and forth between team and team, but you understand my point is you had guys at their position. They weren't moved about. This whole idea of, I like defensive versatility is wonderful when you have a couple of guys coming off the bench who can do that. But to have that every day, and now I read something earlier today that says Ben Rice is getting comfortable behind the plate. Well, Ben Rice shouldn't get comfortable behind the plate because you have Austin Wells over there. And you don't need him to get comfortable behind the plate. If he doesn't have a defensive position, trade him. You can't keep doing this mix and match every day with the lineups. It's confusing everybody in the organizations.
Confusing. Confusing doesn't even come to mind. That's not the word. I think when players walk in and it's not confusing, it might be confusing at first. They don't give a shit about confusing. They want to have a position every day. They want to be comfortable every day. They want to walk in, know they're in the lineup. And you know what? Good managers, what they do is the night before. So you finish your game. After the game, you have your lineup up for the next day, so you know if you're starting or not. And I bet a lot of these teams don't know that, and they're constantly platooning these guys or playing them in different ways and trying to think, we're so versatile. Versatile sucks. Versatile is great on your 23rd, 24, 25, 26 man on your roster.
Yes.
Your bench should be versatile, and you should
Joe
have maybe
McEwing,
one player. What?
Joe McEwing, Ryan Friel, those kind of guys are very valuable, but it shouldn't be the 10th guy on the team. It should be the 24th, 25th guy.
Yeah, you should have your bench player be able to play all outfield positions, all infield positions minus catcher, and you should have a backup catcher. Make them. That's it. You're 2 catchers. You should then have an infielder that can play all infield positions. And so then, and that's it. Like I shouldn't be sitting there with two DHs, I'm starting two guys in my lineup that can be versatile and play all these positions. Because the problem is the versatile sounds wonderful and it's great to have, but you're versatile because you suck at everything. You're not good enough to play an everyday position. That's what makes you versatile. And that's what is brutal about this. They get these guys, they might be able to swing the bat, but if they're not in a position every single day on that defensively, this is baseball, man. You got to do both. You have to have a position, and we can't keep switching these lineups. And if I'm a Met player, if I'm a Yankee player, and stuff like that, like if I don't know who my nine are every single day, and like we're getting comfortable together, we're building that lineup, that camaraderie. Like I know who's hitting behind me, so when I'm on base, I know what to do. Or if that changes every single day, or if I'm in front of him now, or if I'm behind that guy now. Like all those things constantly are changing. Set a lineup, put it out there every day, believe in those guys, and let them get comfortable defensively. Let them get comfortable in the lineup, and see what you have. And if it's not good enough, then bench them. Stop with this constant like, whoa, we're so versatile. We can do this, do that, do that. Great. Well, you know what? The really good teams don't do that. They have like, I'm not going to say take away from this. Like the Dodgers, Kiki Hernandez is as versatile as it gets. But what you see is also a problem with Kiki Hernandez. He's not good enough to play every single day in one position. He is the great versatile Kiki Hernandez is the energy off the bench, that guy when you need Mookie Betts to have a day off, when you need your third baseman to have Max Muncy to have a day off, when you need your outfielders to have a day off, your first baseman, Kiki can do it. He's the guy that's filling in those holes for when guys need days off or somebody gets hurt. He's filling holes. That's versatility, but he's a bench player that is able to start every single day in all these different positions because he's versatile. But he can't start. He's not your shortstop every day. He's not going to win you a championship at a position every single day. He will fill a gap and fill in when you need it. But there's a reason why Kiki Hernandez didn't have a 5-year, whatever, $1 million deal, because he's so versatile. And the versatility also kind of kills you because you're not great at anything.
Mr. Ardsma, is it a good thing that the Yankees and the Mets are both struggling at this time of the year? Does it give you any hope that they can kind of figure this out in the next week or two and then go into the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, hot if they're able to figure this out? Is this the right time to be cold?
I am absolutely I'm a huge favorite of having a really crappy middle of the season, like for like 2 weeks. I am a huge fan of that. I've always been a big push for it. I think the best teams in baseball really struggle in the month of July, maybe the beginning part of August, and then it come together and then are hot in September. But I'll say this, these teams, when you're talking about 50 games, no, that's just crap. You're just a crappy baseball team at this point. 19 and 30 in their last 49 games. That's just shit baseball. That's it. And so, no, in these two team situations, not at all. Now, like you have a bad week, like the Dodgers are kind of having a bad couple weeks or something like that. Completely in favor of it. I like it because it refocuses you. It makes you as a team, as a 26 man, come together and go, guys, we were good. We were playing great baseball. We got a little lazy. We got a little relaxed. We forgot about the little things. We forgot about the hard work that got us here. Let's refocus. Let's relock it in. That's what happens when you have a bad couple of series. You lose a couple series, maybe even get swept by a team that you should have manhandled, and you wake up and you work hard. These teams, I'm just seeing bad baseball. I'm not seeing the ramifications of a bad, you just got a little lazy and you're just playing bad baseball, or you're just playing bad couple weeks. I'm seeing a whole team effort that they go out every single day, and I guarantee you they're looking back going we thought it was just a bad little couple weeks. Now it's turned into a bad 2 months.
Yeah, but
so to answer your question, for these teams, absolutely not. This is the worst thing to happen because now you're questioning your manager. Now you're questioning whether you should you're questioning everything and you don't have an answer. A bad couple of weeks, you can look back and say, okay, we're not scoring enough runs. We're not pitching well enough. Let's relock it in here, guys. Let's focus and have a team meeting. work hard every single day. Let's do some early work. Let's start like re-engaging ourselves. When it's 2 months, you're just a bad baseball team at this point.
It's funny, though, because the perception is completely different between the Dodgers and the Mets. You're saying how the Mets have been so bad for a couple of months and the Dodgers only for a couple of weeks. Do you know how many games separate them in the standings, though?
Only what? A couple?
Four.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have 4 more wins. So it's very interesting, the perception of those two teams. I'm going to throw you on the hot seat, though, right now. I'm going to ask you the same 2 questions for both teams. Will the New York Mets make the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay. Will Carlos Mendoza be the manager next year?
Yes.
Will the New York Yankees make the playoffs?
Yes.
Will Aaron Boone be the manager next year?
Nope.
You heard it here first. Mr. 69 is telling you that Aaron Boone is going to be out